following is a paid program. The opinions expressed are not necessarily those of WNBU and Interbanks Media. Welcome to All Things Money with David Blain, a thoughtful and revealing discussion of actionable ideas and effective strategies to help you through the complex world of investing, taxes, and real estate. Now, with All Things Money, here's David Blain.
Hello and welcome to All Things Money. I'm your host, David Blain. Thank you for joining us for today's show, broadcast on 94.1 FM WNBU, as well as cable TV 10 in New Bern, North Carolina. We also have a lot of people that watch the show streaming over the internet or downloaded to their iPod or MP3 player or phone from our website. We welcome you as well from DLBlain.com. We've got a great show lined up for you today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the role of skill versus luck in investing. It's a topic that I think everyone needs to understand. It's a topic that frankly we could discuss for quite a long time, but it's very important to understand what is luck and what is skill, because so many times in investing people attribute things that they do to skill when in fact it's luck. And when that happens, when they're then at some point when it reinforces things they're doing that may be wrong or theoretically incorrect, and then something comes along and they really get hurt, and it's a big disaster. I see this happen a lot of times. So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the distinction between skill and luck today. Before we get into that, let's give out the contact information. As you know, we love to hear from our viewers and listeners. We get a lot of our topics for the show based on conversations with clients and people that listen to the show. So feel free to give us a call and give us your feedback. The phone number is 252-633-0107. The email directly to the show here is allthingsmoney@dlblain.com. And of course you can go over to the website dlblain.com. There's a big contact us button there to get in touch with us. Okay, so one thing that I want you to think about is if you think of luck and skill, it's not a binary concept, and by that I mean those of you familiar with computers, and all computers work off of is a binary digit. It's a 1 or a 0. It's on or off. And when you think of luck versus skill, I want you to think of a continuum that ranges from all the way over here where it's pure luck, all the way to an activity over here to the other side that's pure skill. And the majority of activities, of course, fall somewhere in the middle. There are certain things that are more pure luck versus pure skill. For example, things like roulette is pure luck. I mean, it's a wheel spinning around with a little ball. It has, you know, there's no skill involved whatsoever. The same thing with slot machines. They're very there's no skill involved in pulling a lever in a slot machine. There's certainly, you know, some theories around how much to bet and things like that, but the actual game itself is a pure game of chance and is luck. On the pure skill end of things, it's generally acknowledged that chess is a game of almost exclusively skill. A lot of sports games have an element of skill and an element of luck, depending on the different sport. And investing probably lies closer to the luck end of the spectrum. There is some skill involved, and we're going to talk about where you should focus that skill and what is luck. But I'll explain why I have that opinion, but a lot of people don't, and so they spend their lives fruitlessly pursuing the skill side of investing in the wrong areas, whereas if you understand that it's a lot of luck, you'll focus your time and effort on things that you can control. And that's what our firm is all about, is realizing this element of chance, element of luck, element of circumstances beyond your control, and focus on those things that you can control and take charge of those areas where you can exert some influence, and those things that are left to chance, make sure that the processes that you are following insulate you as much as possible from that element of chance side of investing. All right, so as we get into this, let's talk about, first of all, defining skill. What is skill versus luck? Let's start off with the definition of skill. And right out of the dictionary, skill is defined as the ability to apply one's knowledge readily in execution or performance. And so basically, you know how to do something, and when you're asked to do it, you can do it effectively. Now, on the other hand, luck is a little bit more difficult to define, but I'm going to take a definition from Michael Malbuson, who wrote a book called The Success Equation, Untangling Skill and Luck in Business, Sports, and Investing. And he's got a great definition for luck that he says, luck is, number one, it operates on an individual or organizational basis, such as, an individual or a team or a company. A company can be lucky, a team can be lucky, a person can be lucky. Second, it can be good or bad. Not necessarily the same event, but you have degrees of, an event can be a good thing or a bad thing for someone. For example, in sports, the last second basketball shot that hits the rim and bounces away, maybe that was skill, but the point is it's good luck for the team that won, and it was bad luck for the team that missed the shot. So that's the second point. It can be good or bad. The third is, and really is the key, is it's reasonable to expect that a different outcome could have occurred. So, for example, if the NFL, if the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning are playing your 8-year-old Pee-wee football team, and they win, you could probably attribute a lot of that to skill, because it's probably not reasonable to assume that your 8-year-old's Pee-wee football team is going to beat, Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. If you're betting at the horse races and the horse you bet on doesn't win, is it reasonable to assume, assuming you didn't have a broken leg or something, is it reasonable to assume that, that your horse could have won? And if the answer is yes, then there's a big element of luck involved. And so I think that's key. That third point is that, is it reasonable to expect that a different outcome could have occurred? If so, then there's an element of luck involved in the outcome that did occur. So, as I mentioned, think of luck versus skill as sort of this continuum. On the far luck side, you have things like roulette. On the far skill side, you have things like possibly chess. And to think of things in the middle as a continuum, and investing falls somewhere along that continuum based on a number of factors. Well, that brings us to our first break. When we come back, we'll continue talking about luck versus skill and really dive into the investing portion of it. So for All Things Money, I'm your host, David Blain, and we'll return right after a few short messages.